Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com here with a quick update about the current hard configuration, stressful configuration between Uranus, Saturn, and Mars. The three planets are so-called cruel planets. They can create more malefic results, and being in a difficult aspect to each other is just a bit of a red alert for the period from the end of June till the first week of July, especially the beginning few days of July, the last couple of days of June. So you just have to be a bit more cautious for accidents, how you operate machinery or anything dangerous. It's more possible to have arguments and stresses and challenges from other people. But grand squares, this is what the configuration is called, their purpose is to put us into action, to trigger us into action, but usually they do it in a way that is not very pleasant, through some crisis, or someone challenges us, or something provokes us, or some kind of a stressful situation happens that forces us to mobilize our willpower, our force, to make some changes, to create some, to mobilize all our energy basically. And yes, it can be stressful. I would advise you, if you have some very important activities to do, like launches of businesses or starting of jobs and so on, to be a bit more careful, maybe to postpone it, because you don't want whatever you start now in the first, this week basically till the 5th, 6th of July, you don't want it to carry that stressful energy forever. Yes, it's going to be activating energy. It will make you constantly, put a lot of action into it, but it will just feel more intense throughout. And whenever you start something, it will always carry that energy. And collectively for the world, this configuration can create some extremes, some violent clashes, some political, economical, financial, or even weather crisis of some sort. For example, very hot or very cold, because Saturn, which is part of the configuration, indicates cold weather. Mars, which is part of the configuration, indicates hot weather. And Uranus, which is on the peak of the T-square, it's the regulating planet, actually is a planet of extremes. So either extreme hot, extreme cold. We had in the Pacific Northwest 110 degrees yesterday, crazy. But it is, so it's collectively, emotionally, the whole world might be way more belligerent, way more, even if you're in the shop or waiting somewhere on a queue, you can notice people are more stressed out, they're less patient, and we can't blame them. Just keep in mind that these are the kinds of energy currently happening around. Who will feel this most strongly? These are the fixed signs: Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. If you have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in those four signs, the square is happening in the most pivotal positions in your life. It affects, if you're one of those four signs, especially the Ascendant or Sun or Moon, it affects the first house, it affects the seventh house. The first house is you. So you will feel maybe a possibility for some crisis or change that will push you to mobilize all your energy and to take radical action for radical change, because cardinal houses move us into new territory. So your cardinal houses are being activated, which is the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th. And these planets are requiring you, maybe through some crisis, maybe through some stressful circumstances, to take up new, to change something and to do something new, entirely new. And especially in regards to your physical body, health and appearance, the first house, whether you're one of those four signs, all of those four areas of your life will be affected. Or in your personal life with family, it might feel more stressful for some of you with family. You might feel more challenged in those few days. If you're one of those signs, I'm Aquarius rising, so you might feel the tension at home rising, or with family members, or some stresses in regards to, for example, something breaking at home, or relocation, or moving, and so on. And also the 7th house is impacted for those signs, which means your partner might be more irritable if you're in a relationship, or if you have clients communicating one-on-one, you can feel less patient with people. They can challenge you, they can demand more from you, or frustrate you in some way. They can be more confrontational, but you also are more explosive with others, let's say. And of course the 10th house gets affected, so some crisis and the need to take change and to start something new and to make some and to take action in regards to your career. But it can happen through some kind of crisis. Maybe authority figures, bosses or institutions might feel more challenging and stressful for you if you're one of the fixed signs. And of course the first house, which is your physical body and health, you have to be more gentle with yourself, not to strain, break, hurt something, or for some might be some acute, or for others, for example, for Leo might be more acute health issue. For Aquarius might be something more chronic that comes up. You know, for Taurus, something quite unexpected. And for Scorpio, like all Scorpio gets aspects from all those three planets, so you have to be a bit more cautious. But still, the positive is that those three fixed signs can create some very important change of direction in their life, initiate a big, some kind of an important new beginning, something new. But it can be kind of stressful again. Then the cardinal signs. Let's cover the cardinal: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. If you have Sun, Moon, or Ascendant in one of those four signs, the T-square between Saturn, Mars, and Uranus is happening in your so-called fixed houses. So that would be like the 2nd house, the 5th house, the 8th house, and the 11th house, which are houses of value. So they can be some, and they usually indicate something that already exists in your life, something that is of value to you, something that you consider valuable. There can be some crisis happening with something like that. So whether you're one of those four cardinal signs, be careful with your finances. First of all, the 2nd house is your money, 8th house is other people's money or support you receive from them, whether financial, emotional, psychological, and intimacy as well is the 8th house. So there might be some crisis and stresses for the cardinal signs between what is mine and what is yours. How much do you give? How much do you take? How much do I give? How much do I take? Mine versus yours, what I value, what you value, some clashes there. Also, the 2nd house is your money, your savings, 8th house is your investments. Be careful there, don't take some extra risk, because it can be some crisis situation can come there. And of course, there can be some crisis situation connected to 5th house, 11th house, which is children, romantic relationships, something that needs to be adjusted, something that needs to be fixed. And the 11th house with friendships, with social contacts, with clients and business and long-term goals of some sort as well. So that's an area that will be a bit, let's say, again, stressful for you if you are involved in any such matters. But on the positive side, this T-square in fixed signs in your fixed houses as well does not make you remove something from your life so much as it wants you to maintain something. The fixed signs in fixed houses, you have to maintain something, but you have to maybe there'll be some crisis there'll be some stresses that come from those areas of life. You know, the 2nd house of food and finances and money and self-worth, the 5th house of children, creative projects, lovers, boyfriends, girlfriends, or romantic partners, the 8th house, intimacy, money that and support from others, taxes, insurances, inheritances, 11th house of friendship, social connections. But you need to kind of take some action to change something there, to improve it, but not to fully remove it from your life. But just be aware that, you know, don't react to stressed or angry in those circumstances, so you don't create a more complex situation. And then is the last group of signs, which is the mutable signs. That is Sagittarius, that is Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. Sun, Moon, or Rising. For them, the grand square is happening in mutable houses, in the 12th, 3rd, so the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, and the 12th houses. For them, the changes are more on the psychological level. They are more internal. These are more hidden houses, more not so visible, and these are houses of endings as well. So you might be spurred into action by some crisis or stressful situation to dissolve something, to let go of something, to remove something. For some of you, it might be a job, the sixth house. For some of you, it might be some kind of a friendship or connection or associate connection or some teamwork project, third house. For others, it might be some, so the sixth house, work, connections, social connections, the ninth house, some beliefs, and the 12th house, again, it's one is spiritual, religious belief, philosophical, political beliefs. This is where you might feel challenged. For the mutable signs, the tension is mostly on the mental level. Like someone can challenge them with conversation about their beliefs. They can clash opinions with others, not see eye to eye, and it might be, they might feel like a hit behind the back because the 6th and the 12th houses are activated for the mutable signs, which is the houses of something hidden behind your back, and they're connected a bit to enemies and so on. So you have to be careful. It's not so obvious for you. It's more like your own self-sabotaging behaviors that can trigger some situation. For example, whether you have an addiction or hidden vices, or you're doing something secretive you don't want others to know. And the sixth house is your enemies, right? People that you don't see eye to eye. There is like and 12th house is hidden such. So something that's been done behind the scenes can come to the surface for awareness. And on another level, it's very good time to activate you now, to release something, to let go of something, maybe to let go of some kind of an addiction, some kind of a self-sabotaging behavior. This is the 12th house, and the 6th house is work or health habits. So something is spurring you into action to make a radical change in some areas for the 12 signs in different areas of your life, like we mentioned them quickly. So yeah, just a little mention for you guys for that. Be aware. And by the way, just now for 10 days I'm offering my course, The Aspects, which is 60-70 hours and about 200 pages of that, like a book as well that I've written with it. It's only $300 down from $400. If you're interested, check it out. That's my best-selling course. And you can receive all the materials, and you'll learn astrology like a professional, all about the aspects. So thank you so much, and have a cautious week ahead.